Hi, this is Music Man from his man cave. Yeah, I thought I could handle the Rite. I watched it, and I didn't think it was that scary. I said I thought it was intriguing and interesting and so forth, but it had more of an impact on me than I realized. Let's talk about it. I thought I could handle it. I watched the Rite. I didn't think it was that scary. I did a review, and then the scares did not come watching the movie or after the movie. They came later in the night and the next day. It brought back the face and the things that I'd seen when I was a kid of The Exorcist, and it literally scared me half out of my wits. And so, yeah. And in fact, that next night, I had my wife and my daughter pray for me because I had somehow opened a door or a gateway or whatever you want to call it. And I literally felt oppressed just after watching the movie, even though I knew it was fakery, I knew it was Hollywood junk. My brain said that, but something had happened in my heart. It was like if you ate food poisoning, or it was like if you ate something you were allergic to. That's the impact this movie had on me. And so after my wife and my daughter prayed for me, I was absolutely fine. That night I slept like a baby, but I just want to make sure I tell you that experience. So when it comes to movies that deal with the spiritual and the demonic, I say there should be caution for Christians, because this stuff can open a gateway, a doorway, and just like it did with me. And you can be awake at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning with something, with your heart racing because you had a dream that was really real and that was terrifying. And that's the danger there. So, Christians and horror movies. I just had my experience. I have not watched a horror movie in, oh my goodness, at least a decade. So I tried that one. I didn't think it scared me. Yes, it scared me. It scared me out of my wits. It did. It got me. And so I'm just telling you. And I am grounded in the Word. I've been in the church a long time. I know the truth, but still the movie got me. And so that's the problem. See, I'm very sensitive to those kind of movies. So will I be watching a movie like that again? No. And how about the Rite? I will burn that movie. Yeah, I will. So that's my problem that I have now. I realize is when you watch these movies, you can open a doorway or a gateway, because be careful, eyes, what you see. Be careful, ears, what you hear. You have to be careful, because I have had experiences, real experiences in the spirit world, and it came back on me like eating food, bad food, or having bad pizza. Now I'm not going to talk for a moment about slasher movies. You know the type: Jason, Freddy, Saw, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Movies like that. I had when I work with teenagers, they all the time tell me about these movies that they watch. And when I was a teenager, I went through this time of rebellion. And on HBO, when my parents didn't realize it, I would catch parts of like Friday the night, Nightmare, or hear Jason's voice or whatever. But I realized I couldn't handle it, and I turned the channel pretty quickly. I'd catch little parts of Jason, and a girl screaming and running and trying to start a car and it wouldn't start, and things like that. I've never had that problem. I drive a Toyota, so yeah, funny, huh? Anyway, movies like that. First of all, I'm just going to tell you my feelings on them, and you can do whatever you want to do. We each have to seek out our salvation with fear and trembling. But here's my thought on it. And if you really want the truth about the desensitizing effects of these movies, go to capalert.com. CAPALERT.com. FLERT.com, and he has a lot of information on these violence in movies and the impact it can have on you. The thing is, I don't want to be disrespectful to Jesus Christ. So I watched The Passion of the Christ, and I realized that what Jesus went through, the brutal beating, the violence that he went through for my salvation, and what he had, the agony that he went through. So if I'm going to sit down and watch one of those movies, imagine someone that went through a brutal beating and for you, and then you sit down and actually watch that kind of violence with them. It's disrespectful. I just feel it's awkward. If you don't feel awkward, then you need to look at your relationship with Jesus Christ, because it should make you feel awkward. You wouldn't sit down with someone that and watch. You wouldn't watch a rape movie with somebody that had been raped. You wouldn't watch a movie about something that would be a stumbling block and insensitive to the person that's with you. An alcoholic, you wouldn't watch a movie called Let's Get Drunk. It shouldn't feel right, and that's my stand on these slasher movies like Saw and Hostel, and I've heard all the names and I've seen the trailers. Is they can be really disrespectful to Jesus Christ. You don't want to do that. The other thing is they have a desensitizing. You want to keep your heart tender and sensitive to things in the spirit world. You don't want to become unsensitive to people treating people badly. You want to keep your heart filled with love. And so that is the danger with these movies, is that you can end up making your heart calloused, if that makes sense. And so you need to make sure that you protect your heart. Keep it tender. Don't let your heart be hardened. Don't let your love grow cold. And that's very important, because living this Christian life, if you can do amazing things and you can know Jesus, but if you don't have love, it's all worth absolutely nothing. Also, you don't want to dabble in the demonic. I'm just telling you, as Christians, you want to take a big step back. You don't want to dabble in that stuff. Now, you may say, my friend, whatever her name is, my friend Diane Dillicuddy, she can watch whatever she wants and it doesn't bother her. Well, the issue is that as a Christian, you now have moved into the family of God, and you're more in tune with what's really the world is going on in the world. People that don't believe in Jesus Christ and have not been saved and don't know him as personal Lord and Savior, the devil has them already. He's not going to reveal himself to them, and he's not going to mess with them and bother them. So that's what you got to realize. And the stuff that we talk, the Christians talk, is absolute foolishness to them. It's just garbage, because they don't believe it, and that's exactly they're exactly where the evil one wants them to be. As long as they're, I don't believe any of this stuff, then he's got them. Just because they don't believe in God does not mean they're not going to one day have to stand before him and give account for their life. So we as Christians have to be very careful, because this world, this culture of this world, is under the influence of the prince of the air, and his name is Satan, and you just don't want to mess around with that stuff. So, Ted Farabee, yes, the Rite messed me up. It scared me. It didn't scare me when I watched it. It didn't scare me during the day. It got me, and I actually had to shut that doorway. I had to shut that gateway, and make sure that things were good between me and Jesus. And I am not going to watch another movie like that. So that's where I stand. Music Man from his man cave saying, caution, Christians, be careful what you put in your mind. The devil will know your weaknesses, and he will mess with you. Guaranteed. Talk to you later. Bye.